There is a whole mess of characters who are constantly trying to determine if Mark Grayson, and specifically his facial region, truly are invincible.
Who's next?
Hello, boy.
From Viltrumites to Flaxans, Invincible's Rogues Gallery of Villains contains some of the strongest and most powerful characters ever put to the comic book page. In today's video, we will be ranking 20 of Invincible's strongest villains based on their levels of power and their ability to relentlessly beat the snot out of a high schooler. How do Invincible's foes stack up against each other, and who will come out on top? Let's find out right now. Remember when someone thought that it was a good idea for Paul Giamatti to dress up in a giant rhino suit and fight Spider-Man? Well, imagine if we removed the horns and added tusks and a trunk, and we have the first entrant on this list of powerful villains. Elephant is certainly an odd character, but one you would not want to pick a fight with. Having once been a human, he was mutated with the DNA of an elephant, transforming him into a humanoid version of the animal. This transformation enabled him with incredible strength and superhuman durability. While he certainly packs a punch, he ranks the lowest on this list of Invincible villains due to his defeat time and time again by Invincible with ease. He even makes a brief cameo in Season 1, being carried in a humiliating fashion by the trunk, whisked away by Mark Grayson himself. Titan was a street-level villain who mostly worked as a mob enforcer. Given his unique powers and gifts, he really was made for the job, whether he wanted to be or not. What are his powers, you ask? Imagine if Emma Frost and Korg had a kid. Titan has the ability to completely cover himself in a layer of rock that is incredibly difficult to break. He can deflect bullets without trying and crash through most walls. Titan also has enhanced speed and endurance, making his ability to fight last longer than several other villains. However, large concussive hits can weaken his rock covering, exposing his normal skin and leaving him vulnerable. He is easily defeated by Invincible, and stands little chance against Machine Head's goons, but is also clever enough to climb his way to the top of a major crime organization. The Lizard League is a band of low-level Invincible villains who come together under the leadership of King Lizard. If there is one thing this group gets right, it is branding. Each member has a lizard-themed moniker. Some members include Salamander, Iguana, and Komodo Dragon. Listen, they may not be the most formidable enemies, but they win the Team Spirit Award for sure. Aside from their cleverly named team members, the Lizard League actually has been responsible for the deaths of some big named guardians like Shrinking Ray and Duplicate. King Lizard was even able to lead the team from prison until his eventual escape. Rampage only spent a brief period of time as a villain in the Invincible comics, and his story is not one of traditional evil. Rampage is a man in a metal suit with very destructive capabilities. Imagine if Iron Man just got stuck and became so frustrated that he started wreaking havoc. That is what you have with Rampage. He is a man stuck in a metal suit and just looking for someone to help him take it off. His frustration lands him in prison time and time again until eventually Invincible is able to free the man forced to live a villain's life. Nothing to see here. Just a casual octopus man with super strength and near invulnerability. Were you thinking of Davy Jones too? Octoboss is an alien exiled to Earth along with the rest of his race known as Squidmen. He was able to take control of the group and use them for his nefarious plans after their ship crash-landed on Earth. His abilities also include enhanced healing and superhuman agility. Where Octoboss's real power lies is in the water. He may be Invincible's greatest villain when it comes to aquatic combat. His goal always surrounds the theft of some form of nuclear power, and while he is often stopped, his leadership position almost always sees him return with a new army of Squidmen. The Flaxans are a race of overwhelmingly strong aliens with advanced technology and weaponry. Their favorite activity? Invading Earth, of course. America has baseball, the Flaxans have, attempting to conquer our world. They try it over and over again. Their level of strength and defeat of the teen team certainly prove they are capable foes, but they do have a glaring weakness that keeps them relatively low on this list. While on Earth, they are exposed to rapid aging. If a fight lasts too long, the entire Flaxan army will grow too old and die in the middle of the battle. While they can certainly pose quite the threat, Omni-Man was able to run through their entire planet without much effort. This dynamic duo are one of the most recurring pair in the Invincible series. One of them is a clone. I think. Honestly, at this point, I would imagine they are both clones. Graced with incredible intelligence and knowledge of cloning, the original Mauler was once a brilliant scientist who sought political power and knowledge. After being defeated by Omni-Man, he created his first clone, starting the cycle of not knowing who the original Mauler is. However, both of them together are a powerful pair. They are able to take on the Guardians of the Globe and go toe-to-toe with Robot in his human form. Their abilities alongside their genius-level intellect include super strength and durability. They are able to create weapons that pose serious danger to their enemies. Their skills often see them employed by other villains and have led to the creation of some of Invincible's greatest arch-enemies. The mysterious origins of this powerful foe are relatively unknown, but Omnipotus is someone who, if left unchecked, can cause some serious damage. His power set includes super strength, near invulnerability and endurance, along with game changers like energy absorption and reality manipulation. It is said that his homeworld in another dimension was drained of all its energy thanks to the Mad Villain, and he ventured to Earth looking to do the same. He was able to put up a good fight against big-name Earth-based hero groups like Capes Incorporated and the Guardians of the Globe. It was not until Black Samson had regained his powers at a supercharged level that Omnipotus was defeated by being literally punched back into his own dimension. Isotope is a henchman of the crime boss Machine Head. Needless to say, he is the muscle between the pair of them. Isotope has very unique abilities that make him a powerful adversary. His strength comes in his power to teleport himself and other strong villains. He also is a capable leader and battle strategist. During Invincible and Titan's attack on Machine Head, they knew that the secret to winning would be distracting Isotope. Failing to do this is what led to their eventual destruction. However, it would turn out that Isotope abandoned his former boss in order to allow Titan to climb to the top of the criminal organization. Basically, Isotope has his pick of the litter, and that's real power. This lower-level villain, who made a brief appearance in Season 1 of Invincible, may look harmless, but trust me when I say that looks can be deceiving. Being a genius-level threat, Doc Seismic invented power gloves, which he uses to shake the very earth beneath him. His gloves allow him to create seismic activity in all earth and rock formations. He uses this ability to attack Mount Rushmore, and if it were not for Invincible and Adam Eve, this attack could have resulted in hundreds of civilian casualties. Doc Seismic's intelligence and overwhelming strength from his inventions is what has landed him at number 11. However, as Invincible has done before, he can be defeated when his gloves are broken or rendered powerless, leaving nothing but a slightly nerdy middle-aged man. The first Viltrumite on this list, Anissa, comes with all the strength and durability that the Viltrumite race has achieved through centuries of natural selection. During the Viltrumite War, she was able to put up a fight against characters like Omni-Man and Alan the Alien. Anissa's connection to Invincible is something that makes her especially dangerous. During her many years of demanding Invincible join the Viltrumite cause, she often would get very close to him, crossing unspeakable lines and manipulating him both mentally and physically. While she is not the strongest Viltrumite, she certainly ranks highly in their military and can physically battle most other characters. It is her unspeakably dark treatment of Invincible that makes her a horrifying villain with an insane amount of power. If you're a fan of the show, you might be confused to see the leader of the new Guardians of the Globe on a list of villains. Rudolph Connor's history in the Invincible universe is definitely not cut and dry. While it is true he has been an ally of Mark Grayson and several other heroes, Robot absolutely has a dark side. His incredible mind, however, is what makes him such a high-caliber threat. His robotic bodies are powerful enough to fight alongside the Teen Team, take on an army of Flaxans, and even grapple with the Mauler Twins. After he has the twins help him create a new body in the form of a younger Rex Splode, complete with a neural uplink device to control his robots, he becomes that much more powerful. After being stuck in an alternate dimension for a spell, Rudy returned to Earth with a new, darker outlook on his status as a hero. He killed his longtime friend Cecil Stedman and successfully took over the planet, also killing powerful heroes including Black Samson. Over time, Robot is able to amass an incredible amount of power and see a new world order all in his image, making him an unbelievably formidable villain. The Sequids at first glance might seem harmless, especially when we see them on Mars in Invincible, but these starfish-looking organisms have a long history of destruction across the universe. Without a humanoid host, these creatures are harmless, but they do have the ability to take over a person's mind if they can attach to them. This is what makes them incredibly dangerous. Once they have taken over someone, the Sequids have a hive mind intelligence that allows them to take over entire worlds. While they have no effect on Martians and Viltrumites, their abilities have allowed them to take over and invade Earth, leading to its near collapse and destruction. As far as names go, yeah, this one is a little on the nose. But trust me, David Anders, also known as Dinosaurus, is one tough villain. Picture Bruce Banner, but instead of turning into the Hulk, Bruce transformed into a giant red dinosaur. In a physical fight, Anders' Dinosaurus form has superhuman strength, speed, and accelerated healing. He is armed tooth and nail, literally. However, it is not his ability in a physical fight that ranks him so high on this list, as Invincible is often able to defeat him with ease. His climate-conscious mind is twisted and warped, and makes his grand scheme plans ones that put the world in terrible danger. He has detonated disastrous bombs in Las Vegas and Greenland, and even has an inner working of Invincible's weaknesses from a former partnership between the two. If knowledge is power, there should be no question why Angstrom Levy is very high up on this list. Levy is one of the most recurring villains in the Invincible series. Angstrom started out as a relatively normal man, but upon meeting an alternate dimension version of himself, an idea was hatched. With the help of the Mauler Twins, Angstrom Levy was able to combine all of the knowledge from all alternate reality versions of himself into one person. The procedure left him horribly deformed, but with an ever-expanding knowledge of dimensional reality. No matter how many times it may seem that Angstrom has been defeated, he always returns to achieve his ultimate goal of taking down Invincible. With this gathering of knowledge, Angstrom Levy enacted his ultimate plan of starting the Invincible War, collecting alternate versions of Mark Grayson to fight the Guardians of the Globe and Invincible himself. Basically, Angstrom's greatest power is that he never takes a sick day. Conquest is the second Viltrumite to make this list, and he certainly deserves it. Conquest's power ranks him in the upper echelon of Viltrum. He was one of the few to survive the Scourge virus, and almost never fails to assimilate a planet into the Viltrumite Empire. After Conquest was sent to ensure that Invincible was progressing in the assimilation of Earth, the two had a fight for the ages. He was able to pummel Invincible and his brother Oliver into the ground with ease, laughing all the while. It took the combined efforts of the Graysons and Adam Eve to finally turn the fight. Conquest would go on to survive and await his revenge, taking on the Graysons again during the Viltrumite War. It took their combined efforts again to finally kill him. Conquest has all the powers of the Viltrumite race and is equipped with an especially dangerous cybernetic right arm. This is by far my favorite character in the Invincible universe. Raised on his home planet Thraxa to be its guardian, Twohig, aka Battle Beast, grew addicted to fighting. He dedicated his life in search of the ultimate fight. He seeks a worthy challenger and one who can eventually give him an honorable death. His unbelievable strength and animal-like ferocity has allowed him to defeat Viltrumites and Guardians alike. He only aligns with people like Machine Head if he is promised the fight he craves so much. In fact, as seen in the show, if he is able to easily win, he will deem the fight not even worth his time.
There is no honor in killing insects.
Eventually, however, he did find his champion. The strongest Viltrumite, Thragg, is the one who, after days of fighting, finally put an end to Battle Beast. Extremely committed, Twohig even intentionally injured himself before the fighting began to make it an even competition. Trust me, this is one guy you do not want to mess with. Listen, I myself am not a parent, so I don't mean to judge, but I really don't think Nolan Grayson is the best father.
You love me! You love Mom!
She's more like a pet to me.
Sent to Earth from his home planet of Viltrum, the father of Invincible, aka Omni-Man, is most definitely one of the most powerful villains in the Invincible universe. His strength far outmatches most other characters. He took down Invincible without even breaking a sweat, and he is able to defeat the entire Guardians of the Globe single-handedly. Even before his time on Earth, however, Omni-Man was proving himself to be a formidable fighter from a young age. The imperialistic society on Viltrum was one that taught strength and conquest to its children. Nolan joined the military of such a society and rose through its ranks with ease. As a Viltrumite, he has the benefit of extended life, effortless flight, incredible healing, and a cold mentality that makes him an almost unstoppable killing machine. Have you ever heard the expression, "we are our own greatest enemy"? Well, the Invincible comics bring that saying to life in a very literal fashion. The multidimensional villain Angstrom Levy started the Invincible War by bringing over several alternate versions of Mark Grayson. More often than not, in the alternate dimensions, Mark Grayson actually followed in the footsteps of his father Nolan and joined the Viltrumite cause of taking over the planet Earth. This means we have several copies of one of the strongest heroes known to man, who all chose to turn to the dark side. Some of them were pent up with rage and seeking revenge, like the Mark who had spent the last year in a Viltrumite prison. There are versions of Mark who died and became Reanimen, women, and some who joined the Flaxan Empire. Other marks saw the early deaths of their family members, or even grew evil enough to kill heroes like Adam Eve in their own dimension. They number somewhere between 16 and 20 and took part in one of the bloodiest wars seen in the Invincible universe. Thragg is not only the most powerful villain and Viltrumite in the Invincible universe, but I believe he is the most powerful character, period. For centuries, he ruled Viltrum, being the unstoppable strength of a race of strong beings. Thragg trained for thousands of years and fought in the Viltrumite Civil War. Thragg can take punches from Omni-Man and Invincible with little to no effect. He is responsible for the death of Omni-Man by impaling him with his fist. He killed Battle Beast after a days-long contest and wears his pelt as a trophy. Thragg's determination and longtime military service also make him a dangerous warrior. After being sentenced to exile, Thragg created an army of his own offspring on the planet Thraxa, which he used to invade Earth. Thragg's determination and charisma make him a natural evil leader, gaining allies and armies at a moment's notice. He has all of the strength of a Viltrumite multiplied by 10. Invincible was only able to kill Thragg out of revenge for the death of his father by baiting him to the surface of the sun, where Thragg burned in the intense heat. Thragg's laundry list of victims is extensive and impressive, making him by far the most powerful villain in the Invincible universe. Man, Invincible's villains have an uncanny talent of covering their knuckles with blood. Which of Mark Grayson's enemies would you include on this list? And which of his allies do you think could one day turn bad? If the answer is Monster Girl, I would be scared.